Let's talk about Xsbs Studio. Xsbs Studio is an optional module allowing you to design your own Xapps and to share them with your colleagues. With Xsbs Studio, you build your own cockpits and dashboards to manage and enrich ACP data. Technical development skills are not necessary. Easily model your business rules into an Excel cockpit using the intuitive wizards to create ribbons, buttons, macros, VBA code, or API. As an example of Studio's simplicity, I'll show you how to create a project to load a full list of material descriptions in just a few clicks. Let me start Xsbs Studio from the Tools and Settings tab within Xsbs Core. I land on the Xsbs Studio welcome screen where I can choose to load a recent project or to create a new one. Let me create a new demo project as an Excel file using a blank workbook. I could use any other template I already created in Excel should I want to. Studio is creating the project, and I land on the workflow of Xapp development, which details all the steps of an Xapp creation. In my mass data maintenance Xapp, I will need a button to trigger the mass loading process, so let me first create that button. I will create a tab specific to the Xapp, so all the buttons commanding processes contained in my new Xapp will appear in this tab in Excel. I then create a button group, and eventually my button that I name and to which I assign an icon. I will now create a sequence of material master data maintenance to attach it to my button. I do this from the Scenarios section of our Xapp creation workflow. I create a new sequence that I name according to its objective, for example, mass maintenance, and to which I assign a description. I will create one single step in this sequence using the batch input recording function of Xsbs Studio. I assign a name to my step and to the variable in which Xsbs is going to store data, making it available to Excel. I choose to execute the transaction in the background, and I select the system in which I want to perform the transaction. I also input the transaction code that I'd like to call MM02 in our case for material master maintenance. Studio then takes me to a list where I can input ACP instructions. Alternatively, I can simply record my transaction by actually performing it in ACP. SAP opens up in the material master transaction as I requested. I display data for material P102. I'd like to see basic data where my description will appear. I modify the description with a new description, say, new description from Xsbs. Xsbs has recorded all fields from all screens invoked in the transaction and is displaying them. I now need to attach my sequence to a corresponding Excel worksheet so that the batch input can be played from my list. I can do this for single or multiple items. Of course, in our case, the point is to make it for multiple items at once. Xsbs Studio is then generating a worksheet in our Xapp project. Let's check this Excel. A material tab was created with all fields required for MM02 transaction as columns. To finalize my Xapp, I will now link my button to the sequence. I do this from the Events section of our Xapp creation workflow. My playback button is selected here on the left, and I assign the sequence mass maintained to it. This is it. My Xapp project is now finished. I can of course improve the cosmetics of my Excel file if I need it before I deploy, or run it in simulation mode to check it, which I will do just now. So here is my Excel file. It has a mass maintain tab as I defined with a playback button I created. I can now extend the material list I want to maintain and input my new descriptions. I also can simply automate the new descriptions with regular Excel functions. I then can play back the batch input sequence, and all new material descriptions will load in a few seconds. Let's quickly check in ASAP that the new descriptions have loaded properly. I connect to ASAP via a SAP logon. And directly go to MM02 transaction. Let's check the P103 material, for example, which was in our list. The description was updated according to my list, as you can see. This XApp example is just a very simplified example to show you how quick you can be in developing a custom XApp. There are of course many other features and functions available in Studio for you to develop much more complex and effective XApps that will dramatically improve productivity in your teams. Please get in touch with us if you want to schedule a personalized demo of Xsbs Studio.